We're on for presentations today, and I have 22-30045-708 Miro versus Montez. You'll have to forgive me because I have some questions because I heard this case so long ago. And then I have a proposed parenting plan from each party, but not objections. And I have not been able to go through them and see what the differences are. So.
And Judge, I think I can provide you some clarity. So we were before you back in July. At that time, my client had asked for a major modification of the parenting plan. Within her proposal at that time, we simply did not include any sort of holiday schedule. We simply said refer to Section 4. Father's time was going to be very limited if the court had adopted our proposal at that time. The court issued your ruling. Ms. Jeffers and I went back and forth, attempted to craft together a holiday schedule. I then submitted a proposal to the court prior to our last presentation hearing. My client did not approve of the changes that Ms. Jeffers and I had agreed to. I was unaware of that at the time of the hearing, which is why we didn't address it at that time. It then came down to submitting that agreed order after all of the other issues were resolved and agreed upon. Upon me presenting that, my client brought to my attention that she did not agree to those changes. Those were drastically different than what the previous orders had, and she simply is asking the court at this time to just reserve on the holiday schedule. That said, there are several holidays that we do agree on, but the ones that we don't agree on, I just frankly don't believe that the court heard any argument or made any decisions as to those. So at this time, I think for ease, we are just asking the court to reserve on those. I know Ms. Jeffers has a difference of opinion and has submitted my prior proposed order to the court for entry today. But that's my client's position at this morning.
Okay, which holidays are agreed and which are at issue?
Going through and looking, I think Thanksgiving I saw was the same language. Easter looks like the same language. Children's birthday appears to be the same language. Parents' birthday appears to be the same language. First cousin's birthday appears to be the same language, and I think that that's probably it, at least from my quick review.
Yeah, so Your Honor, I mean, basically what happened here is there was a motion. We came before the court. The court didn't make any changes to the previous holiday schedule. The holiday schedule and the parenting plan that I sent over to the court signed was the agreement of the parties. Opposing counsel submitted that proposed parenting plan, filed that on July 28, 2025 with these exact holidays in it. My objections came in on August 15th. No objections to the holiday schedule. Those were agreed. We came to presentation on August 22nd and holidays were not addressed. So based on the presentation before Your Honor, you made a couple of clarifications. Opposing counsel and I worked out those differences, had an agreed order. I signed. That is the order that is in front of you. And at this time, I'm asking that you sign it. Mother changing her mind is not a basis, and the court has not made any rulings to changes on holidays. The holiday schedule that is in here is the holiday schedule that was in the previous order.
And Your Honor, if I may, that's not necessarily the case. The issue that these parties have had consistently is there were no times or dates for many of these holidays allocated in the prior, I think it was the 2023 parenting plan that the parties were operating under. I think Ms. Jeffers and I, in an attempt to alleviate a lot of those conflicts and back and forth, did try to come up with some days and times. I will admit to the court that Ms. Jeffers and I did have a conversation. Her client did make some proposed changes. And it was unbeknownst to me until after the hearing that my client didn't agree with those proposed changes, which is why they weren't addressed at the hearing.
Okay, this is what I have in front of me. So I want to make sure that so I received this stuff back in October 15th. And what I have is both orders have Miss Bliss's footer on them. And the one that's only signed by Ms. Jeffers with an original signature has a signing date of September 9th, 2025. So I just want to ensure, Ms. Jeffers, that's the one that you think we're working off of.
It is, Your Honor, and that was signed by me after we came in front of you for presentation on August 22nd, 2025.
All right. And see, when was most recent temporary order prior to our hearing in July entered.
The parenting plan is going to be the original parenting plan, Your Honor. I'll
I
have
think
to
that
get
was 23,
Okay,
125, 23.
gotcha. I have it right here. Okay, let me.
Your Honor, my client is indicating that the court's not letting him in at this point to the hearing.
I don't have anyone in the waiting room.
Okay.
And we are streaming, so there is that. But I don't have anyone in the waiting room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, looking through the 125-23 plan and the proposal from Ms. Bliss' office that Ms. Jeffers signed off on, it does appear to be wholly similar apart from specific times that are listed. Like, so Thanksgiving, it says shared except when falls on Mr.'s birthday. And but it doesn't have times. This says shared except for when falls on his birthday, it takes precedence. And just outlines times. So really the times are the only difference that I see here.
That's correct, Judge. And when I had prepared, I got to go back and figure out where my order was, that Ms. Jeffers and I worked together to change. There were several days and times that were adjusted, and that is what my client is disagreeing with at this point.
Your order was filed July 28th, 2025, Ms. Bliss.
Thank you, Ms. Jeffers. So yeah, if Your Honor looks at my proposed orders, I had 6 different orders within there, but I had a proposed parenting plan. So if we want to just go one by one, and if Your Honor just wants to make a ruling, I think that might be easiest.
Okay, the proposed orders from July 29th, 2025. Okay,
Correct.
now I have someone saying it says ESS advocate. That's the only person in my waiting room, so I don't know if that's.
I am not sure what his phone is labeled as, Your Honor. He should have his name on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm taking a look. So they got rid of spring break. I mean, we went over this and made some agreements. Mother's Day is the same. Father's Day is the same.
Well, they're not, so I think we should probably address those. So my proposal had them Saturday at 9 to Sunday at 6. The discussion between Ms. Jeffers and I had them at Sunday at 9 to Monday at 9. So I guess I'll defer to the court as to which times you adopt.
And at this point, Your Honor, I mean, we can spend a lot of time going through for some changes in time, but the reality is that we had an agreement, and the court can see that because the parenting plan that I signed was drafted by Ms. Bliss after presentation. So at this point, there's nothing major here that constitutes going through this again. It's realistically, her client should be paying attorney fees because she agreed and then changed her mind.
Well, then I get if we're going to get into that, we could argue that the court never made any decisions as to this. So whether we come to an agreement or not, presentation of an order when a court didn't make a ruling on them, I don't necessarily think is the appropriate time to address that either.
Right, but we've already been in the presentation.
Yeah, so and you'll have to understand that there was a presentation in August, I guess. And orders were going to be submitted. There were some clarifications, but I haven't reviewed the entirety of this case for 5 months, so 4 months. I'm just looking at the proposed orders from the July matter and the one that I have with a September date. August, I guess. Jeffers. And orders. Ms. Morrow, you need to stay muted.
Okay.
There are a couple. It looks like Mother's Day and Mother's Day, and Father's Day has Monday morning at 9 a.m. instead of Sunday evening. 4th of July has a return on the 5th at noon instead of 9 a.m.
Winter break, I think, is one of the biggest ones. Is it was the entirety of the winter break versus just the Christmas holiday.
Both of them look like they're just father have the children from school release day. This is in the proposed from July.
Mhm.
Father have the children from day schools released until 12:25 at 9. Mother shall have the children from 12:25 at 9 to the day before school resumes. And in the signed order, I have father have the children 12:23 at 9 to 12:25 at 9. Mother have the children from 12:25 at 9 to 12:26 at 6. And I'm assuming it resumes whatever.
The normal schedule is.
Normal.
And then it does not appear to me that anything else other than those things we just listed are different than the proposed orders from July. At this point in time, and especially with the change in law that occurred shortly after this hearing, looking at the proposed order that Ms. Jeffers signed, I barring you wanting to set this on the docket for a whole nother argument, I'm inclined to sign this order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, and for it is stamped original. It does not obviously have conformed clerk stamps on it, but has Ms. Jeffers' signature date of September 9th, 2025, and Ms. Bliss's footer on it. And I'm going to sign that order this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.